Hi, and welcome to darkredpress.com. Today we're going to be having an interview with Brian Fatah Steele, who is the author of In Bleed Country, a new Dark Red Press edition, which has 3 additional short stories, as well as 10 illustrations by the author himself. So if you like horror, if you like Clive Barker, then you'll love In Bleed Country. So let's get right to the interview, and we'll talk to you soon. I guess the first and most leading question is, how did you come up with the initial idea for the world of In Bleed Country?
In Bleed Country came about because of a number of short stories I had written years ago that I always felt there was more there to those tales that needed to be told. And here, when it came time to do another novel a few years back, somehow I found that all of these short stories worked together in a singular universe. So Jeff, Adrian, and Segbotto came together along with Katie and the Armada, Samuel, Angie, and the City of Refuge, Germain House, Sinjian, The Bound Mother. I mean, these are all separate short stories at one time that ended up coexisting in this one singular tale. And at first it was very chaotic, but after I really started working with it, it made a type of sense. I tried to form my own mythos out of this, and hopefully by the time I'm done working through the entire storyline, the trilogy, it will be there. Like the story that I want to tell will be done.
The Armada of Sensation is quite a crew of terrible and terrifying entities and individuals. What character of the Armada was the most fun to write for you?
The Armada. My initial idea for the Armada Sensation was I wanted to take the idea of psychic vampires to the most illogical, disgusting end possible. So I just, tried to make the most irredeemable, just unlikable characters I could come up with. And the white man, of course, at that point, wins because he's just so over the top. He's so much fun to write. But the artisan is who then, of course, becomes the critic. That is my favorite character in the book. I mean, I have a very strong personal connection to the artisan. And yeah, he's going to definitely be around as the critic for probably the long haul, I'm going to say.
As an author in the horror genre, who is one of your greatest influences and why?
I always say that my number one influence is Clive Barker. Anne Rice was an early influence, more for her prose than anything else. Brian Lumley was an early influence, mostly because he taught me that I didn't have to be confined by traditional genre concepts. I didn't have to just write about a spooky thing, and he just would throw whatever he wanted into a story and go, here you go. So I will always love him for showing me that. And then years later, I really got into Edward Lee and definitely H.P. Lovecraft and a number of others, but at the end of the day, it will always be Clive Barker. So,
having read the novel as well as the 3 short stories that accompany it in the special edition of In Bleed Country, I have to say that the Swan Song, a member of the Armada of Sensation, who is the lead character in the Brutality Code, is certainly one of the least understood of the characters in that group. And I was just wondering, were there any plans in exploring further those peripheral characters of In Bleed Country?
The Swan Song's story is probably done. And while I do plan on exploring a number of the supporting cast. Yes, definitely. I'm also definitely going to explore the locations. I want to look into more about, the farmhouse, the island of Ever, the abandoned village with the church. What are these places? What is their significance? And that's something that in the first book that you just kind of were like, no, they're there. But why? What's going on here? So that's going to be touched on a little bit more in the next few books.
And the final question, and certainly the one that I'm most interested in, what's next for Jeff and Adrian and the rest of In Bleed Country?
I am definitely planning out the book 2, Walking the Scar. My brain thinks in the form of trilogies, so there will probably be 2 more books and then it'll be done. Pretty much what's going on is, Jeff, Adrian, Katie, Sinjian, the critic, and Angie are all at Germain House right now, and Requiem engineers don't like that. They fear Jeff because Jeff represents change. And the major tagline of the book is the only constant in this reality is change. Well, here there's going to be a new villain that rises up that is very much against change, and he's going to pose a threat to the Germain House crew as well as the Requiem engineers. So I don't know. We'll see where this goes. Hopefully the second book will be up sooner than later, and yeah.
That about does it for our interview with Brian Fatah Steele, the author of In Bleed Country. The Dark Red Press Special Edition has some 3 new short stories included in it, as well as several illustrations by the author himself. So certainly go out, pick up a copy, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and enjoy it. I know I did. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon.